Starting to record now. So yeah, we good.
All right.
You see yourself on Facebook or no?
Um,
Or it just look like regular Zoom?
I don't even see myself on. I don't even see myself.
Oh,
But
don't
it's
worry about it.
yeah. I ain't. Don't pay me no. Never mind.
Yeah, it's live streaming on Facebook, so we good. But
Okay.
yeah, all right. So shit, we about to just get started.
Come on with it.
All right. So welcome back this week for Flow for Life. This is the first podcast that we didn't live stream for Flow for Life. And Carl is my first guest on here. Now, Carl, we had a conversation the other day, and in my head, I was thinking about a title, and I was like, you know what? Let's call it Survivor's Remorse, because that's
Mhm.
basically what we was talking about. And I think it's gonna be real powerful, you know. So this week I got Carl Hampton on here. He was born and raised out of Cleveland, Ohio, John Marshall graduate, and he also has his bachelor's degree in psychology, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
I was about to say, I hope I wasn't wrong. But
No.
yeah, before I let him introduce himself, I want to say thanks for being a guest this week on Flow for Life. And go ahead, Carl, give him something.
Well, Deontay, I think you did a stellar job introducing me. But
Appreciate it.
I'm just gonna say, verbatim what you said. My name Carl Hampton. I consider myself the American Negro that so happens to have a bachelor's degree in psychology. One of my purpose and passions in life was just to help people. But me realizing that me helping people, there's a double-edged sword with that. So I hope y'all enjoy this. I want y'all to stay tuned to it because your boy got a lot to say.
Yeah, definitely, man. So look, we're gonna get into it. Is there anything else that you want to add to it? Wait, you
Um,
married, right?
yes, sir. Married 3 years, been together with my loving wife for 7, most of those years.
Okay, that's good. If it's any other background information you want to add, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, so married. From the outside, I believe I did everything right, but at the same time, there's something more deep within me that felt like I have another chip on my shoulder.
Right.
And I think that has caused a lot of hidden things that I may have put in on Facebook that
Mhm.
has painted this good picture, if you will.
Right.
There's a lot of internal turmoil that I had to been dealing with on the inside that I haven't been able to or willing to share up until now. So let's get it. Let's get
Yeah,
into it.
man. And that's good too, man, because a lot of us sometimes, man, we be ignoring how we feel. We don't be as open with other people as we should be. So we basically be walking around every day with all this stuff in our head and stuff like that, but we don't have nobody to express it to because some people might not understand or they might not even care that you're going through that because they looking at more success than anything. They not worrying about your mental health. They just like, oh, he got his bachelor's in psychology, he cool, but mentally check on me, make sure I'm good. Like, you know,
Right,
so I get that.
right.
Yeah, but I'm gonna start opening it up with the first question.
All right.
So what do you think about when it comes to survivor's remorse and how does it affect you?
Hmm. So first thing we got to do is we got to break down what survivor's remorse is. So Deontay, I know that you served some years in the military, and
Mhm.
there's a term that not everybody doesn't really talk about. It's called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder,
Yeah,
right? So a lot of people don't really understand that PTSD everybody experiences, not just military, not just police officers, not just everybody that's just that we believe that's just foreign to everybody, but I believe that everybody deals with that.
yeah.
I'm
Can you break it down for some people that don't know? Can you say what PTSD is?
post-traumatic stress disorder. Now,
Oh,
under the dictionary, they will say that it is a experience that has caused great injury. All right. When it causes a great injury, we're thinking of a car crash. We're thinking about a soldier that was in fighting, shell shock, losing a leg. That's what we think of PTSD. That's what we think. But here's the catch. Here's the catch. Now, I'm gonna ask you this question. If I
Okay.
ask you the question of what is the definition of great, when you think of great, what do you think?
The definition of great,
Hmm.
I could say really like going above and beyond and not worrying about the failure, more reaching for success and striving to be better and striving to be great every day versus, taking days off and stuff like that. It's like work that you need to do in order to get there. If you don't get the work done or do your part every day, you're not going to be great and you're not going to reach that success that you want to. So
Right.
that's
And
what I
that's
think.
and that is the typical definition that I ask. Now I say, okay, when we think of great, we think of something good. We think of striving for success. That's what everybody thinks. So, what if I said, now, if that is the definition of great, so then what is a great white shark?
A great white shark.
Hmm.
I just think about animals. When I think about that, I think about the animal, a great white shark. A shark can eat you.
Hmm.
That's
But
what I think about.
but there's that's where you see the little bit of the contradictory. If a
Right.
great white shark is striving for success, being good and being great at what it does, does
Hmm.
does that make it great? So when I
Yeah,
think,
but yeah, I think it does. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I think it does because that's it's doing its normal instinct, and that's to kill to eat. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that they get enough food and stuff like that. So they in the water, they basically fishing.
okay,
That's all they're doing.
right, and I would say, and most people think great is good. That's what
Hmm.
the average thing. Most people believe great is good, but I'm
Right.
gonna take all the way back into PTSD. So when we have a great experience, it's not a
Hmm.
successful experience that causes us damage and turmoil and these things that causes us to have debilitating effects on our lives. Is actually a mass experience that we weren't prepared for.
Right.
It is a mass experience that we are not prepared for. So when we talking about survivor's remorse, there are a lot of experiences that we have survived that we were not prepared for.
Yeah, that's deep.
We, like, for example, one of my concentrations in my degree is addiction counseling. I help those who are struggling with drugs.
Hmm.
So I have experienced a lot of people in walks of life. I've dealt with the poorest of the poorest. I've dealt with the richest of the rich. So if their experiences is great,
Hmm.
how is it that they are all sharing something that their bond was is drug addiction? Or in my experience, Deontay, how is it that my experience that I get through still
Hmm.
causes me to feel like I should have done more? I needed to do this. Why am I not satisfied? What did I do wrong? What is
So
it?
yeah, I get that. I get that. So for me, like I look at it as if, you can't help everybody. That was my biggest problem when I was in the army. I see potential in everybody. When I say every soldier, realistically, every person has some sort of potential. And people got skills that they never tap into because of addiction, like you just said. And for me, it just was like you got soldiers or whatever who don't want to do the work because it's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Some people look for the image more than actually changing their lives and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
with me as a leader, if I can't get soldiers to change, I might look at myself like, what am I doing wrong? And through my process, I know that I had character flaws. I was tripping sometimes, and yeah, I used to be salty because I used to know that you got way more potential than what you're putting out. You just don't want to get looked at a certain way by your peers, and that's a lot of what keep people where they at. You know what I'm saying? Is they worried about how people may feel about them once they reach a certain height in their career or job or whatever it is. But when you get there, the goal is to put everybody else on in a way. And like we was talking about, I can't pass people money. I'm not rich, right? But what I can pass them is information, and that information could really take anybody to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Especially like the information that you share, you know, with the people suffering with addiction and stuff like that. You giving them stuff. You might know people that done dealt with it. So, you know, it could be like conversations literally that can change people's lives and stuff like that. So me, I can feel more fulfilled while doing that as
Right.
long as I can connect with the people. That's just how I feel.
Right. And one of the things that I really appreciate that is that you said that you have came to terms to say, you know what, I can't help everybody. I
Mm-hmm.
can't do it. And you were okay with that. Me on the other hand, me on
Mm-hmm.
the other hand, that's probably why we were able to reconnect because in the point
Right.
of my life and where I'm at right now, I it is hard for me to say I cannot help. I cannot help you. It hurts. Like I remember I
Mm-hmm.
got this tattoo on me. It's a curse now, but back then I thought it was cool and I thought it was a blessing. I thought it was a sense of honor. I got tattooed right here. I am my brother's keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh yeah.
I am my brother's keeper. So no
Mm-hmm.
matter what you do, I'm going to be there for you. And I thought that was the right thing to do. I
Right.
I, I took a self like with all of my friends. I took a I took a job that nobody asked for me to do. You know, I have to be upfront. I took a job that nobody asked for me to do because I felt obligated, Deontay. I
Mm-hmm.
felt obligated because nobody else is willing to do the job. Like
Right. I get
I
that.
felt I felt like there's a mess that needs to be cleaned up and nobody's willing to do it. So
Mm.
I just chalked it up and said, you know what, the hell with it. I'll do it
Right.
because it needed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when we were talking briefly, and you was like, "Well, Carl, that sounds like you the black sheep." You the
Right.
black sheep. And I was like,
Like
"Well,
that, yeah.
yeah." Well, ain't that everybody? But even with that, I was lying to myself because
Mm-hmm.
I felt like with my experiences, with not only with my friends but with my family, I said, you know what, I have to do something different for the sake of them.
Right.
So Deontay, when I have that, I'm doing this for the sake of them. I'm doing this for the sake of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing, I'm giving it all for them. What it doesn't feel right when I give it to myself.
Mm.
It feels foreign. It's
Yeah.
new. It's traumatic. You see? It's traumatic. It's a
Yeah.
great experience I wasn't prepared for. Where it's time, okay, you gotta do something for yourself.
That's what
Right.
it sounds like. Not to cut you off, it sounds like you need healing within. You know what I'm saying? Because you dishing out more than you actually receiving yourself. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
it's not always a bad thing because you know you actually making sure that like you putting others before yourself. So it shows that you're not selfish. You know what I'm saying? But don't ever forget about your mental health. And even with me, like in the army, for instance, I used to always say that I'm never going to behavioral health. I don't need to go. My mental health is okay, but you really don't know what you're going through and how other people look at your situations you've been through until you talk to them. Man, I was telling the therapist some of my life situations and stuff, and she like, oh my god, like she was like, her mouth was dropping, like it seemed like she was shell shocked or something. And
Mhm.
she like, if I was you, I'd be really stressed out. And it's like, yeah, but my best way of getting through it is expressing myself. You know what I'm saying? But that was amongst peers and people that I know could relate to the same situations that I've been through. Now it's kind of hard for me to talk to a therapist because I really didn't feel like she gave me the solution. She just heard me out. But that's the part of the whole being open, being vulnerable, and releasing that information so I can get that up off me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because think about it. You feeling like that, believe it or not, you bringing those problems to work. You bringing those problems to your client, but you might be feeling empty because you're not working on yourself.
Hmm.
So
And
I think that's what it is.
I'm glad that you put. I'm glad that you said that I was feeling empty because I was self reflecting last night, and I was like, I was like, man, you know what? I only felt hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I only felt hurt. So if I don't feel hurt, and that's what I'm used to, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. If I don't feel hurt, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I feel empty.
Mm.
So then I asked myself this question, and I wanted to ask you, and whoever wants to chime in, would you rather feel hurt or would you rather feel empty?
Ooh, that's a deep question right there. You came with it with that one.
So, and the reason I'm asking that is because a lot of times, Deontay, you grew up around the Rocky River projects, and I grew up around the Bel Air Garden projects. I
Right.
wasn't solely in the streets. I was close enough. I was close enough to hear what's going on. You know,
Too close for comfort,
too close for comfort. You
like you
know,
said
and
the other day.
too close for comfort. So, dealing with those experiences, I'm not in it, but I'm around it too close for comfort. And how am I going to navigate? What am I going to say that isn't going to get me looked at or get me in some trouble? Then I have the other side I'm dealing with at home. You know, the pressures
Right.
at home, the art of the peer pressure in the street, and the inability to feel dissatisfaction at home. So I'm dealing with this. You know,
Right.
I'm juggling. And then I think a lot of black males in particular, and a lot of people around those areas that are poverty stricken, feel that. And we, like you just said, we don't have nobody to express it. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm not even tired of talking about it. What's the point of even talking about it?
Man, I felt like that too. But shit,
What's the point?
believe
Yeah.
it or not, by you opening up and even bringing that to some people's attention, they probably feel like that too. They didn't have nobody to talk to. So everybody bottling their emotions inside and nobody's releasing. So when you see people flip out and stuff like that, that's probably from past trauma they've been dealing with for the last few years or all their life, but they never was able to be vulnerable and just express themselves because of how people might look at them. People might look at that as a sign of weakness, but that's only to somebody who's unwise.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think it's good to express yourself, man, and say what you need to say. But I wanted to ask you a question, like, now that I know that from talking to you the other day that you've been bouncing around from city to city because your job, I think that's what you said before. Now, what was your mindset growing up in Cleveland, Ohio?
Okay. So I was I was sad. I was sad. I had low confidence. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like nobody wanted me. I felt like I was I was I was on an island, if you will. It was
Right.
solitude. So when I got around, my friends I grew up with, I felt like, okay, I'm a part of something and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
take whatever I can get. But deep down, I started to realize, I said, man, this can't be life. The more experiences that I'll give you one experience, and Deontay, you was a part of this one. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a time, it was me, you, and it was a lot of our friends. We all came together and we went to this go-kart racing spot on Brook Park.
Right.
So we all get together, and one of our friends in particular, he got mistreated.
Mm-hmm.
He got mistreated. They weren't willing to give him a refund on something that he had rightfully so had. And us as young black males, how the way we knew how to communicate was, okay, you got over on us. Now we about to get over on you and make sure you'll never do that shit again. So we all had that pack mentality. We
Mm-hmm.
was gonna get him, and
Right.
he got.
Mm-hmm.
But every action causes an equal and
React.
opposite reaction. That's
Oh
law.
man.
That's universal law.
Yeah.
So if you can chime in on this one. So we did what we did,
Mm-hmm.
and it's time for us to scatter. They called the cops. We
Mm-hmm.
knew how Brook Park Parma police officer was.
Right.
We felt they were very prejudiced. We felt they were not gonna give us any leeway, and they probably wasn't. So we were not going to risk all of that. So you know what we did? We scattered like roaches when you put the lights on.
Right.
This is where my loyal. So listen, imagine I'm gonna try to turn everything back to my character flaws. So the only confident, one of the best qualities I thought I had was my loyalty, my undevoted loyalty. I was in the car. I was safe in the car with you and your brother. I was safe in the car. I saw one of my friends run in the middle of nowhere, and I said to myself, I can't leave him by himself.
Right.
I can't leave him by himself. So I get out of my safety. I get out of the car while the car is moving.
Right.
I get out of the car while the car is moving. I trip and fall, and I find I'm about to get run over by the car. I'm stumbling, falling. I'm like, stop the car. and all you see is me dangling. I'm dangling out the side of the car. Like you and your brother's like, stop the car. Take me home. You killed Carl. But we can laugh. Look, we can laugh about it now.
Right.
But like we said, well, every action comes with an equal opposite reaction. What if, luckily, everything went right that night? But man, Deontay, what if everything went wrong?
Shit, bro. To be honest, if everything went wrong that day because he didn't give Desmond his money back, and we would have did something like not really knowing the consequences, like harmed him in a way where he would have been dead, man, I would have been salty about that because it would have literally been 5 seconds of anger leading to death and leading to us being incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we probably would have got maxed out. Who knows how it would have went? But I would have felt more bad if I got people around me that had potential to be whatever they wanted to be, but we were so young and we didn't really know the consequences. So a lot of people just missed their opportunity and they passed up on their potential.
So
by being young,
or the art of peer pressure. The art of peer pressure. And I thought that was my best quality, Deontay. I really thought that was my best quality. And don't get me wrong, it got me. This gonna sound crazy, but I think a lot of people will feel me. It got me that far, but it got me that far.
Ooh, yeah.
It got me here. It got me here, but it got me here. It carried me for so long that now it can't carry me no more.
Right. So what's next?
So what's next? So my loyalty, or let me take my loyalty, my hurt got me this far. I'm afraid to feel something else. I'm afraid to feel forgiveness. I'm afraid to feel happiness. I'm afraid to feel angry. I'm afraid to feel something else more than what I'm already used to.
Right.
But
hey, my printer is printing out of nowhere. I don't even know why, but it's weird. Keep going.
It's cool. But Deontay, I felt this. And I felt it was a duty, it was an obligation. It was to the point where I'm like, man, I have to do this. I have a duty to serve. Because in my heart of hearts, I need to help people. But what happens when you help people that don't want to be helped, that don't know how to be helped, and that say they want help, but they just want comfort?
Man, see, that's literally like my dad. We always had man, I never liked my dad, believe it or not. Like, you know, like
Me
it's like
too.
my dad, it's my dad, you know, gotta grow up with him, this and that, but he was always in and out of jail doing straight dumb shit. Like dumb shit that me as an adult, I'm like, bro, that's dumb that you did that. But it's almost like it was hard for me to really understand how to be a son to a father that it's like he got some mental problems. Like, you know what I'm saying? So with me, I just was like, maybe let me try to get to know him a little bit. I don't think that a random counselor or random therapist could help him. I think that what he needed was family to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? So end up talking to him, trying to get to know him and stuff like that. And guess what happened? Some dumb shit. Excuse my language. But yeah, dumb stuff then took over. Hold on, let me stop this real quick. I don't know why it's printing. Give me 1 second. All right, my bad. And and it wasn't even the printer. It was
Right.
my girlfriend Apple Watch that was going off. I thought it was the printer, but I could have sworn I seen papers moving over there. I'm like, that was weird, but it was her watch. But yeah, but basically, like, I don't know, like when it comes to him or people like that who don't really want help, it's not that they don't want help. They don't want help from certain people because they feel like the ones that should help them are their family members or friends. And that's probably where they lacking at. But it's hard sometimes, like for our parents' generation. My dad, man, he was smoking crack, like all sorts of stuff on 130th. That's where he grew up, you know what I'm saying? So he been probably on crack since his 20s. So he probably, I think sober him is a whole nother person versus uh high him or drunk him. You know what I'm saying? Like we dealing with like hella personalities, you know what I'm saying? And I think he one of those people with multiple personalities, you know, and that's actually a disorder, actually, the multiple personality disorder.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like I can connect with him, you know what I'm saying, if he's sober. But if he high or drunk, I can't connect with him. And he might not want my help if he's under the influence of something. So right now, he even locked up right now. Every time he get locked up, he seems to find God. It's kind of weird how that happens, but he get real religious when he in jail and stuff like that. But I feel like I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. Like I feel like if we was there for him because I can't really say that because we have tried to, you know, be good kids and stuff like that. But it's like, yo, you got issues that you're dealing with and you blaming everybody for your problems instead of taking accountability. So really, shit, it's hard for me to say, you know, it's a situation based thing. You know what I'm saying? Some
Yeah.
people need the help. Some people don't want to help. And if you try to help them, you only hurting yourself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You can only give so much to somebody who ain't trying to change. So I hope I answered your question.
No, that's actually, and you know what's funny? I think I also have experience. My dad was suffering from addiction as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I I remember like I will talk to my wife about this. I remember it was a time when my dad was so high off of something that I
Mm-hmm.
remember at the age of 4 years old, I can still remember it. The pat, the driver's side window out and was fighting my mom.
Right.
I remember those things. I remember the glass shattering. I was in the back seat, and I remember myself crying. And that image never left me. I'm almost 30. In 2 years, I'll be 30 years old. That
Mm-hmm.
never, ever, ever lost out of my head. And I had carried that up until the age of 24. I had
Mm-hmm.
carried that with my relationship with my wife, with y'all, with my friends. I, I've been carrying that. And I've
Mm-hmm.
been carrying that resentment. Like, believe it or not, you the best sport player when you got a chip on your shoulder. You a
Right.
best sport player when you know that was my at that time that was my outlet. That was one of my way outs.
Mm-hmm.
My father, you know, our relationship. My expectation. I need to put that word expectation there. I wanted to have a father like everybody else had a father. And I became envious and I became jealous of when I seen somebody else that had a father figure in their life. Where I'm
Right.
like, yeah, I'm like, why am I not deserving of that? So again, put that on that show. Why am I not worthy enough to have that chip on my shoulder? And you know what's worse than having an absentee father that's just not there? A tardy father. A tardy father.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one that's in your life that's just showing you all the wrong things not to do. But the good thing about it, not trying to even go away from your story, but we learned so much of what not to be. And it's something me and Andre always talk about. It's like, bruh, he done messed up so much. We know how not to move when we dads. Like he already got his children, you know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure he probably struggled from some of the traumas that we dealt with our dad. So he probably still trying to find his identity as a father. You know what I'm saying? Right. And he gonna have flaws. It's gonna be bumps along the way and stuff like that. But if he would have seen a good father present, I think that he would be better off. Like he would be a lot better off than he is now. But not saying he's doing a bad job, but you know, we sometimes we carry on our father's flaws, believe it or not. And not even trying to do it on purpose. It just somewhat happened like that because we don't know how we learning, you know?
And that's the thing. Like right now, I mean, I'm not mentally prepared to have children. If I can't be there for them how the way they need to be, I'm not ready for it. And you know, not just to piggyback off of that, fast forward when I was an adolescent to now, me and my father's relationship, I had to literally cuss him out. I had to literally have verbal blows with him. Because again, I was in college, I'm doing everything right, and what is it not enough? You know what I mean? And that's just from one relationship. I got to deal with a relationship with other women. I got to deal with relationships with my friends and peers. I got to deal with relationship with my parents. I got grandparents that are getting ready to leave up out this world. So I'm got all this stuff going on. I'm like, man, can I catch a break? You know, is it ever going to be enough? And I just was with my father, I just was like, you know what? To hell with you at that moment. To hell with you. And it was so bad, Deontay, that I was not willing to invite this man to my wedding.
I get that. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and I gotta thank my wife for this. She said, "You gonna have to forgive this man, because maybe that's all he know." And but then again, but Deontay, this is the thing. What's forgiveness? What is forgiveness?
My thing, one of my neighbors told me this, and not even trying to go away from your story, but every time you say some situations and scenarios pop up in my head that didn't happen in the past. So I was in Virginia, right?
Right.
I had moved in a little neighborhood, got me an apartment and stuff like that before I got out the Army. Right. I met my neighbor. He was an old dude around my father's age. For some reason, he asked me, he was like, he knew I was a soldier and stuff like that, asked me questions, where you from, your parents in your life, your dad in your life. Then I'm like, no, my dad not really in my life. And I get to explaining to him the situation of why he's not really active or in my life like that. Now, with him, he was like, believe it or not, you gonna have to make that right. And I was like, why do I gotta make it right? He's my father. He should be coming to me. It's his fault. He is who he is. You know what I'm saying? But then again, your dad was, the dude was like, by you going to your dad and being the bigger man, he gonna hurt more inside because you came to him. So, and then he was like, believe it or not, that might have been all your dad need for him to change, is that his kids or his family members to give him the time of day so that they can get on a better foot or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I know that he probably messed up in the past, but you need that closure for yourself. And I was like, okay, I get that. But then it was Father's Day, right? Father's Day, they had a big barbecue. He knocked on my door. He said, come downstairs. I said, I'm barbecuing. I got all my kids there. And yo, the way that his kids respect him, like when I was meeting them and stuff like that, they respect their dad so much. And in my head, I was like, this how a father supposed to be. You
Yeah.
know, so it kind of messed me up on the inside because it was like, damn, why my father couldn't be like that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And respect your father is one thing. Like, if you respect him. Like, whatever he say, go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And by him navigating and moving like he was moving, I'm like, yeah, they really love their father.
Yeah. And and this is where I have to me me in my head, I have these safe spaces where I like to have fantasies where I was like,
Hmm.
what, this is how my life would be like if he was there. This is how it'd be like if my mom was able to make better decisions, blase squaze. I have I have to have, and I think everybody got to hear this. I have to have a reasonable reality to know that things will never be my way solely. It will not
Right.
solely be my way. Oh, excuse me. Me and my father, we have a cordial relationship right now. It's not great. It's not bad. It's enough where
Right.
I can text him, I can go over to his house, I can stay the night, I can chop it up a little bit, but I can't do that. I can't. My limit. I can't do that all week. Like how the way you gave that analogy of how that father in Virginia, everybody respects and love him. For me,
Yeah.
I can only be there for the weekend because then I have to disclose this and let everybody know. Forgiveness is just not just this one shot you just taken and it's done and over with.
Right.
Forgiveness is a lifelong process because
Right.
we're dealing with great experiences that not even just we dealing with our parents stuff. We're dealing with our friends. We're dealing with betrayals. We're dealing with relationships. We're dealing with a lot of things where it's just we cool, we cool.
Hmm.
That's not it. That's not realistic and it's not true. Sometimes we have to process what we doing. Like last night, me and the wife we was talking, and I was like, "Man, tell me about the relationships you had before me." And it was times when she had told me, but then
Hmm.
there was some stuff that was more added. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up to you is that it's not for an insecurity thing. It's about the level of intent and intimacy, and also what is it that your spouse or whoever your friends is willing to share with you. Maybe she
Right.
wasn't. Maybe she wasn't ready to tell me all that. Maybe I wasn't prepared enough to hear all of that.
Mm.
But a lot of times we believe that we are communicating on the same level, when in actuality, one is communicating like this and the other one's communicating like this.
Right.
And it's one thing to know it, but a lot of times people don't know that they're communicating that way. Most
Right.
people
Because
don't know.
they used to doing it.
Uh,
It's something that they developed. You know what I'm saying? Like they just passed it on from from when they was young to now because they learned this. It's learned behavior. That's what I
yeah,
meant to say. It's learned behavior. They learned that from somewhere.
yep, they learned that from somewhere. And I know probably people that want to listen to it like, man, what the hell does this got to do with survivor's remorse?
Hmm.
If this has to do with how the way we think, how the way we react or interact with certain situations, and
Hmm.
do we feel we did everything that we could? So me,
Right.
I'm a thinker. I'm thinking of ways to get rich, ways not to be poor, ways to save my brothers, ways to say this, way to say that. A lot of times, most people don't think about all of these other things, or maybe they do and they just don't share it, or maybe
Hmm.
they say I can't put too much energy on it. But sometimes the things you shed light on, the things that you shed light on, is the very thing that keeps a lot of us heavy. Like me
Right.
talking to Deontay, I've been feeling heavy for a long time. For
Hmm.
for my poor decisions, my mistakes, other people's decisions that they have done, other people's poor decisions that they've done to me. And I'm
Right.
just saying, I'm just trying to, in my journey, in my part of this life, I'm trying to see that everybody makes poor decisions and everybody makes mistakes. And that, you know what, I want to give you a chance to show that you're a human being and you make mistakes. Because a lot of times we quick to be like, man, oh, you did me dirty wrong. I'm done with you. We think about it. We come from the cutthroat, the cutthroat society, cutthroat nature.
Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I done been so loyal to friends. I say friends because sometimes friends is closer than family. Like, you know, like you hold your friends close, but your family is close. But your friends is just like, y'all my brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my mom, she'll understand where I'm coming from. But it's just like if one of your brothers do you dirty, it just hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, bro, we got years in this. We got loyalty in this. We got, if you needed something, I got you. If you needed to talk, I got you. Why would you ever cross me? So that, like, to me, that hurt. You know what I'm saying? But people not looking at it like that because you really giving out more than you receiving. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. I'm not even real religious. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I do pray. But whenever I pray, I always pray for other people.
Yeah.
And before I pray for myself, I pray for other people just so that I know that God can take care of them. I think mentally I'm gonna be all right. Mentally, physically, spiritually, I'm okay. But I still got growth that I'm trying to reach. You know, I got certain goals and destinations I want to go. You know, it's all a journey. But please take care of my people around me. You know what I'm saying? Because that means much more to me if everybody right and we can all come together, and it would make things a lot easier, even addressing a big elephant in the room sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And in our case, we addressing survivor's remorse, which is a big elephant that most people don't even talk about. Like, bro, I literally done been in different states. I done been out the country, bro. When I was out the country, I think that's when I missed family and friends the most. But I needed that time to be away to get a clear understanding of my life and what I need to do to stay ahead and get ahead. And from there, it's just like I could share my past experiences amongst my peers and family members. And man, I'm gonna tell you, man, like just to take it somewhere else, yo. Like I wish that I'd have been able to take my mom out to Rome or Paris or something like that while I was overseas. Like my boy Ganell, Hushlow, my dog. But yeah, my boy overseas named Ganell, he had took his mom to Paris. Like he flew her out and everything. She was out in Paris. And I was like, man, like he could have been selfish and went on all these trips, but he wanted his mom to experience something that she never experienced. You know what I'm saying? So really, I think we have to reach certain places in order to pull people with us. But at the same time, don't ever think that it's all about you. If you think that it's all about me, you can't even think about everybody else because you're selfish at this point. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah.
And I'm gonna share this story, and I'm gonna try to keep it quick because I know you said we got about an hour. So it was a situation where I was in college. You know, I'm playing football. I walked on again. I got all this trauma that I got on me, and I got a point to prove. I'm trying to get a starting position. My ultimate goal was to hit the lottery. I wanted to go to the NFL, and I didn't go. I didn't even start. But I said, you know what? I want my first goal is to start and play for my grandfather, my great grandfather. I want him to come to one of my games. My sophomore year, I found out that my great grandfather, he had stage 4 cancer. He was getting ready to go. And I said, you know what? I need to start. I need to start. And I didn't start. So I felt guilty because I put this expectation on me that if I can start, he can come and he can see all the work and the investment that he put into me, you know. And I didn't meet that goal, and I felt guilty. But again, around that time, I'm gonna say a lot of another trauma experiences happened. So I remember I was calling from practice. I was in practice, and one of my friends called me telling me that one of my other friends got shot.
Man, what?
Yeah, one of my friends got shot, and I'm in football practice. Like, okay, I have to go. I have to go 120%. If I die on this field, this is what I have to do. I have to put on I had to come back and save the people that I love. Like my brothers. I love my brothers. I am my brother's keeper. I put that on my chest. It is not what I wanted. I required and I needed to go hard because in my head at the time, I'll be damned if I go back and I did all of this for nothing.
Right.
And then when I didn't make the expectation, I felt like it was all for nothing. So,
yeah.
So I felt that when me putting on that, taking the role that nobody asked me to do, I felt like it was needed to be done, you know? And that's why I talk a lot about the survivor's remorse, because when I didn't, after that, I quit football for a semester. I felt bad about that. I didn't really get the spot, so I quit the approval point, but then it didn't happen. Then I end up coming back with my tail between my legs and say, I need to come back. I need to finish what I started.
Right.
And then I got all these, like, I remember we talked the other day, along with that situation, an individual that I went to school with, he passed away. He got murdered. So this funeral, he got murdered. And I was just like this is what this is what my 3 baby brothers got to be around. My mom got to be around. My friends, my close friends, my brothers got to be around. I can't take no days off. I have to meet this goal. And I didn't meet the goal, and I felt like a failure. Along with the other stuff that I was dealing with my relationships with my friends, my families, and my significant others at the time. I had a lot of pressure on me. And half of that pressure I put on myself.
Yep, and it's always like that, man. Like, if I could, man, I would save everybody. But realistically, bro, I'm not Superman. I'm not Batman. Not Spider-Man. Like, I'm not a superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like how I would want to be, but I'm a superhero of who I should be a superhero for. You know what I'm saying? And like when it comes to family and friends, like, bro, I want them down to Florida with me. I really do. You know what I'm saying? And I want to position myself to be able to at least pass the opportunity to them to come or something like that. But I need to learn different skills and stuff like that. So broaden my horizons and know that it's not a cap of what I can do. And I can do everything you saying, far as like you wish that you or you think that you let your peoples down. I wouldn't even say that you let them down. It's just a different way for you to even connect with them and pull them the way that you need to. So yeah, playing football and stuff like that, yeah, that could have helped like financially and stuff like that. But it's other ways where you can get them to feel the way that you think that they should feel, and so that you don't have to feel the survivor's remorse. You know what I'm saying? It's other ways, you know? Don't think that football is the only way, or just setting these goals and stuff like that. Shoot, if it don't work, set different goals. And that's something that I learned, man. I really learned that. That's why I've been diving deep in this credit, been learning about this wholesaling real estate stuff. Yo, every time I get information, I always pass it. I hop on lives and stuff like that, or sometimes I make a story on IG or just a regular post, and I basically explain stuff that I learned, because that's my way of giving back to family and friends, and even strangers, people that don't know me or don't have a good relationship with me because we just never met, but we friends on, you know, social media. But that's my way of giving back and stuff like that. So I want everybody to go up in life, you know what I'm saying? But you just got to realize that not everybody's going to put in the work that's required to get there. And some of them, they just need that push, you know what I'm saying? That's why accountability is key, you know what I'm saying? And we understand that, you know what I'm saying, because we hold ourselves accountable, you know what I'm saying? And we know what we need to do to get to where we need to go, you know what I'm saying? So low key, I even told you the other day, never feel guilty about what you were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So, man, like, man, when we've been on here chopping it up, man, it's really some good information. I feel like, man, I don't even know, man, I'm on the Zoom screen. I ain't even look on Facebook, so I don't even know if people even watching it. But if they not watching it, man, like, they really missing some good conversations. You know what I'm saying? I don't normally get conversations like this with people if we don't think the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we all different and unique in our own ways, but like you gotta have a different thought process to not feel guilty or survivor's remorse. You know what I'm saying? Certain situations, man. But I was gonna ask you this because I kind of feel like this myself. Now, because you feel that way as far as survivor's remorse, do you find yourself isolating yourself more, but it looked like you socialize with people to other people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
So what I do is I'm very, like I said, my island that I put myself in.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I can be very unrigged and I can not be flexible. I can be absolute. It's either it is or it ain't. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my I would say one of my trauma responses. It's when I I put too much in that I need to, or I don't put in at all. It's like I
Right.
said, is never in between. I never found that soft spot yet. I'm working on it, but I haven't put it in there yet. So in regards to the communication, I give this brief story. You know, you talked about real estate. I lived in DC. I lived in the DC area for about 2 years, between 2017 2018. I stayed there for a couple of years, and I met a black millionaire, a black millionaire named Andre Johnson.
Is that the
And
football player?
huh?
Is that a football player?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Oh,
But guess what? I was around some NFL football players that I still keep in contact with today. You know,
right.
I was around successful people, Deontay. I was around it. I was
Mm-hmm.
around it in DC. And I put everything that I had in it. I was minimizing my work hours. I put everything in there. I put too much in there because
Mm-hmm.
on the flip side, that that's good. It's a lottery bank, but I mean it's a winnable lottery, but it's still a lottery nonetheless. You know.
Right.
Then I got my wife. You know, she she working. You know, doing government work and all those type of things. But there's one component that I was missing, and I'm working on it to this day. And I think a lot of people have a misconception on it. I was missing confidence.
Mm.
I was missing confidence. All that pressure that I was explaining to you in this podcast, I felt that. I
Mm.
felt that so much where I was like, I'm shaking and I'm shivering. And I'm like, man, can I even do this? So I'm doubting myself. I'm doing something I could have easily been to the next level, but I'm doubting myself.
Yeah.
Who can I come to? Who can I talk to? I'm putting
Right.
all this stuff, I'm putting all this stuff in, and everybody that I believe got it together, that got that flexibility, that know they got to take care of themselves before they take care of others.
Mm.
I'm putting not only my put my needs at the side. I'm putting my wife's needs at the side. Like, oh, we gonna do this. This is what is demanded to be successful.
Right.
Like I said that analogy before. It got us here, but it got us here.
Mm. That's crazy.
It got us here, but it got us here. So when I start realizing, man, I need to pull back. Like even to this day, I have access to Andre Johnson. I have access to him right now. He keep in contact with my wife. I have a millionaire access to the phone.
We got about 6 minutes, bro.
Yeah, I have an access to my phone. I have access to him, but am I confident enough to be able to
Reach out.
reach out to even start that?
I think that the best thing you can do is just try. You know what I'm saying? And through time, you're gonna build that confidence up. But really, that confidence has got to come from within. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to know that a lot of problems that you're putting on yourself, you putting other people problems on yourself. I had to tell one of my soldiers how he was putting like his mom's problem, his sister problem. Like, yo, those not your problems, believe it or not. But you can be the one to help come up with a solution.
Right.
Now, if you come up with the solution and people don't follow through, they missed the shot. You didn't miss the shot. You made the shot because you passed the ball. Hey, they ain't won it, so you had to shoot it yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at it. So it's really building that confidence up. Like some people gonna shoot it, some people gonna pass it. You know what I'm saying? And I guess you can look at it like that. Like we all got a choice, you know, to either change or don't change. But some people, it's kind of hard due to their environment and stuff they've been through in their life. So I understand that. But it's easy to fall victim and become a product of your environment. You know what I'm saying? But if you around millionaires, like how you saying, you got a couple millionaire friends, yo, you put yourself around them long enough, you're gonna be the next millionaire. Now you hang with this side of people that don't believe in themselves, ain't got nothing going and stuff like that. Shit, you're gonna be sitting on, you know, the side of the road with them. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's good to have that balance. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go back, when I came back home to Cleveland for New Year's, yo, I needed that for myself because since I've been out the army, I haven't been home, and it was like 7 months. So when I went home, I was able to go home, see family members and friends, and I recharged. I need that. I needed to recharge. You know what I'm saying? So now that I'm back in Florida, I got school coming up and stuff like that. So really, all that bad stuff I had on my shoulder, it was washed away when I seen my mom, I seen my niece, my sister, my brother, like all their kids, like, you know what I'm saying? That's when all the problems went out the window, you know, as far as that, because I felt good seeing my family members. So like, yeah, let's take pictures, let's flick up, let's eat together. Like I want to do all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And the problems that I thought that was heavy, man, none of those problems even mattered when it came to family and stuff like that, because I was able to see the people who I loved and I missed, you know? So that's what meant a lot to me.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And I can relate. I can relate to that as well. Sometimes I need to go back to Cleveland and see my old friends for a little bit, and then then it's time for me to come back. To wherever my head lay at the time, to start to get to work. And one thing I'm learning, and one thing I appreciate you for is hold me accountable because I said, I'm gonna be on this podcast.
Man,
All it was.
Hey, no, hey, I appreciate you because look, by talking to you that day, I was like, bro, my webcam on my laptop is like, it's the quality's not good. I went to go buy a webcam yesterday, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this podcast. And Alicia Ellis, she was like, yeah, you might need to go virtual, like do a video or something like that, video podcast so people can tune in. But you happen to be my first guest, and I'm happy because we came and we had a dope conversation. I actually like going live better than anything because it's like, bro, it don't sound so scripted. You know what I'm saying? It sounds more genuine and like, bro, it's like real love here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel that like you had some stuff you had to release. I had some stuff I had to release. But yeah, thanks for being a guest. And can you leave a positive message before it close out?
All right. So one of the things that I do in my work is I like to start this. I like to end everything with a serenity prayer. I learned this by teaching NA and AA, Narcotics Anonymous and Addiction Anonymous. And it goes, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change and the courage to change the things that I can and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. And I want to say, right now during COVID, those who I'll be a regular on this podcast, but if you don't know who I am, my name is Carl Hampton. You can follow me on Twitter, SmoothSneeze93, Instagram, Coolsey Smooth. Follow my wife's page, Chelsea Chi Hampton, Chelsea's journey. If you got anything that you want to share, I think I'm going to be a regular on here if Deontay would allow me to. Follow me on those social medias and let's check in. But I think this is going to be a start of some conversations that it's going to be some more conversations that need to be had. And I got some stuff I want to say.
Just for real, let me know whenever you want to, if you got some on your mind that you just need to talk about. Because believe it or not, by you even saying that, you helping solve somebody's problem because you probably talk about solutions while you talk about these problems, but you just don't know their solutions because you overlooking them. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for tapping in. I'm gonna have to get you on here again, man. And yeah, we're gonna keep dropping it. Yeah, if y'all ain't got the Flow for Life merch, y'all tripping. Got the microphone on here. The Flow for Life is going. I went to the store before this podcast and actually bought this shirt and threw the logo on there. Like, yo, I'm excited when it comes to stuff like that. branding yourself and stuff like that is key. Like I never even thought about adding a logo to a t-shirt, but I'm like, no, I'm doing these podcasts. Let me translate this to anything I'm doing so I can be in multiple lanes, but just start something that people can be like, you know what, I'm proud of him and I like what he's doing. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for tapping in. Yo, this recording gonna be up on Facebook, and I'm gonna put this on my Anchor app too.
All right.
All right, bro. I'm gonna hit you up.
All right, take care, man. And those who have, please follow Flow for Life at Anchor, and please support Deontay Flowers. And maybe we can help those who don't know how to help themselves. With that being said, I'm out. Peace and love.
All right, for sure.